Yes, a very good afternoon. So, how are all of you? Good. Preparing for what? November or May? November 14. Both groups? Single? Only audit? Arey baapre. 300 marks audit kya? Okay. So, all of you for November? Okay. Right. So, anything special that you already know about audit? Anything special or anything scary which you already know about audit? So what is that reason कि स्कोर नहीं होता है ऑडिट में? क्या किधर गाड़ी किधर अटक रही है? अच्छा, तुम्हें तो सब पता है, पर सिर्फ टेक्निकल वर्ड्स नहीं पता है. ओके, टेक्निकल वर्ड्स और एक प्रॉब्लम ये होता है स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट कि यू डोंट नो द टेक्निकल वर्ड्स. तुम एग्जामिनर को खुश नहीं करते हो तुम्हारा पेपर देख के. मतलब अभी लिखा होगा तो खुश नहीं किया है, और अभी तक नहीं लिखा है तो याद रखना कि खुश करना है. ओके, तो यू हैव टू पुट दोज वर्ड्स, क्योंकि इंस्टीट्यूट कभी भी मार्क नहीं देती है. नेवर. इंस्टीट्यूट इज नॉट अ चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ना, दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू डोनेट मार्क्स. You have to ask, you have to write कि अरे दे दो मार्क, 40 तो दे ही दो, 50 तो दे ही दो. Okay, so you have to deserve, you have to be deserving of those marks. So one, technical. Okay, so right, if I write all the technical words, I'll get the marks. If I put all the technical words in my answer, mnemonics बना दिया ऐसे बहुत सारा. Mnemonics पता है ना आप, कुछ ऐसे audit, A for, U for, D for, I for, and ऐसा करके आ जाता है marks. वैसे भी नहीं आता है. So obviously the presentation part, yes, the presentation part, the sentence, the grammar part, that has to be proper. Right, so it has to start with conceptual clarity and it has to end with superb presentation in the exam hall, in those 3 hours in the exam hall. Right, so for that you have to go through a lot of the concepts, you have to go through a lot of terms, you have to go through a lot of pages of the book. Again and again you revise, you have crystal clear clarity in front of your eyes. Only then you will be able to write the paper. आप एडॉक तैयारी करके जाओगे, एडॉक पेपर लिखोगे, एडॉक मार्क्स मिलेगा, नो पर्पस इज सर्व्ड. यू अंडरस्टैंड ना? कैसे कुछ तो पढ़ाई करके यू राइट, यू मतलब ऐसे एग्जामिनर को नाराज कर देते हो पेपर लिख के, कि इससे अच्छा तो डोंट राइट पेपर. No, it's right, better don't write only. And main problem happens because of CPT, no? CPT में हाँ, ऐसे एक पेपर में पूरा A भी करके आ गया कोई स्टूडेंट, तो एक को 112 आ गया था. फिर मतलब पूरा 200 में पूरा A मार्क करके आ गया. You miss that chance now. Okay? तो 112 had come. फिर अगर A से नहीं होगा तो अगले एग्जाम में B ट्राई करो. ऐसे परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन लगे रहने दो. But what happens because of that because of that pattern of objective at CPT, you're not at all used to writing answers. Accounts, costing, SFM कैसे भी गाड़ी निकल जाती है, क्योंकि problems रहता है, format रहता है, practical रहता है, formula रहता है, तो you somehow manage those. But audit, law, IT, SM are actually the papers which become very tough for those who are not good at writing. And you know, if you don't work on these areas right away at IPCC, at final the problem is going to become 100 times bigger. मतलब अभी अगर तुम्हें वो जो ऑडिट थियरी का, राइटिंग का जो डर है, या केस स्टडी लिखने नहीं आता है, जो भी प्रॉब्लम है वो इधर ही आईपीसीसी में एकदम वो क्लियर कर देने का. So that final पे you know you again don't have to tackle the same problems and so. Okay, so obviously my intention of telling this at the very beginning of the class is that the focus of the class is going to be on conceptual clarity and good presentation. That's my target, you know, when you are with me for the next 40 days. Okay, your concept should be clear, and then further, yes, that your presentation in the exam should come out fine. Right? So what all is there in audit to study? You've ever opened, cut the ribbon? Module ऐसे आता है ना, बांध के ऐसे. You've cut the ribbon? कि घर पे ही है, मंगवाया ही नहीं घर से. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे वो बोलते वो घर पे ही है, वो मंगवाया ही नहीं. मंगाया हाँ, तो क्या है उस मॉड्यूल में, ऑडिट के बारे में क्या बोल रही है इंस्टीट्यूट? व्हाट इज इंस्टीट्यूट सेइंग रिगार्डिंग ऑडिट? मॉड्यूल पढ़ते ही नहीं हो, ओके. देयर इज नो नीड ऑल्सो to study module, except for के accounts costing के लिए you should go through the problems which are there in the module, क्योंकि बहुत बार direct questions आते हैं. But other than that, for subjects like audit, other than suggested RTP and the class notes, none of module is not required. Right. So we divide the entire syllabus of audit into 4 parts. Entire audit syllabus, we divide it under 4 quadrants. Yes, we divide it under 4 parts. Right. First part in that is all the basic concepts in auditing. All the basic terms related to audit. जैसे क्रिकेट के रिलेटेड भी टर्म रहता है ना, LBW, विकेट, हैट्रिक, मेडन ओवर, पावर प्ले, and what third umpire, and so many terms, no, regarding cricket. So when you start watching cricket, when you start enjoying cricket, you learn so many terms regarding cricket. So now audit, you should obviously know a lot of terms regarding audit. Yes, so the basic concepts in auditing, lot of terms, lot of types of audit, lot of advantages, disadvantages, and terms like terminology related to audit. That's the part 1, basic concepts in auditing. Okay, then another part is vouching verification. Yes, vouching verification. I'll just elaborate on this one. Right. You are the statutory auditor. Who is the statutory auditor? Who is statutory auditor? What is statute? Yes, law. So a person appointed as an auditor under any particular law is a statutory auditor. So generally in case of Companies Act 2013, 1956 also requires that the accounts of the company should be audited. Yes, and they should be audited by a chartered accountant. So statutory auditor, a person appointed to do the audit under law. Okay, he has to express an opinion on financial statements. Statutory auditor, he has to express an opinion on financial statements. What is financial statements? Balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, cash flow statement. What is the new name for notes to account? No. New name for notes to account? You know, now earlier it was Schedule 6. Then it became revised Schedule 6. Now it is Schedule 3. So what is the new name in revised Schedule 6 or Schedule 3? Yes, it's there. When you get the notes, you'll get to see. Summary of significant accounting policies. Where all the accounting policies are given and other explanatory information. Summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. That's the new name of notes to account. But we more commonly know it as notes. But what is the new name? Summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. So cash flow statement to different only, no? That operating activities, financing activities, AS3, accounting standard 3, which I think is not there at IPC. So cash flow statement, and notes is only disclosures. So main part of checking would be this balance sheet and profit and loss. Yes, now in balance sheet, asset and liabilities. Yes, there would be fixed assets, current assets, tangible, non-tangible, investments, cash, bank, debtors, receivables. On liability side, there will be equity, preference, loans, debentures, provisions, current liabilities, and so. Right, so balance sheet, there are a lot of account balances. And profit and loss account, rent, insurance, commission, royalty, advertisement, sale of goods, sale of services, other income, interest on debentures, interest on loans. All these would be the transactions in the profit and loss. So now you are the statutory auditor. you have to express an opinion on financial statements. Financial statements comprise of balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow and notes. Balance sheet mein all the balances are there. That is why we say no balance sheet as at 31st of March. And P&L, all the transactions for the year ended. That is, you're giving all the transactions for a particular period. Now, as an auditor, if I have to express an opinion on the financial statements, I will have to check all these balances and transactions. And land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, fixture, investments, एक balance और एक transaction check करना पड़ेगा. फिर ये सारा चेकिंग करके बैलेंस शीट पीएनएल का चेकिंग हो जाएगा. फिर वो चेकिंग होने के बाद वी विल बी एबल टू एक्सप्रेस एन ओपिनियन ऑन फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. So you know, when we are checking a balance sheet item, that is called as verification. When we are checking a balance sheet item, that is called as verification. And when we are checking a profit and loss account item, that is called as vouching. So that is what is in the second part, vouching/verification. Vouching is for P&L and verification is for balance sheet. We vouch a transaction, we verify a balance. We vouch a transaction, we verify a balance. So in your exams, you see questions like, how will you vouch/verify the following? Rent, purchase return, sales return, bad debts, insurance, commission, royalty, land and building, plant and machinery. जितने elements हैं ना financial information के, balance sheet, profit and loss के जितने component, जितने heading लिखते हो ना, any of that they can ask you vouching verification. How will you vouch/verify the following? Other than that, in this part 2, we also discussed 2 more chapters. Yes, that is government audit and special audit. Special audit is all those hotel, hospital, cinema hall, educational institution, club, NGO, charitable institution, that comes under special audit. And government, all the government entities, government companies, how to audit them, we have a separate chapter. So actually part 2 is divided further under 3 parts. Vouching verification 1, government audit 2, and special audit 3. You understand? We are just having a brief outline of your syllabus. Okay, so 1, the basic concepts in auditing. 2nd, vouching verification. 3rd one, yes, company audit. Yes, there are a few sections in the Companies Act. Like for your November 14 exams, it's the 1956 Act which is applicable, not the 2013 Act. Okay, so there are a few sections in the Companies Act, yes, which are related to audit. There's a Companies Act mein they have given how to appoint the auditor, what are the qualifications for auditor, who can remove the auditor of the company, what are the rights and duties of the company auditor, what are the reporting responsibilities of the auditor. तो Companies Act के जितने भी sections हैं, उसमें से those sections which are related to audit, we are going to discuss over here. जितना भी sections है Companies Act में, out of that, whichever is related to audit, we are going to discuss over here. That is part 3, that is company audit. Yes, and the last one, part 4, wherein we will be discussing the standards on auditing. That is SA. Yes, SA, that is standards on auditing. What are these standards? Have you heard this term? Standards on auditing? SA. Rules provided by ICAI for audit. So who has to follow these standards on auditing? The auditor while conducting the audit. How many standards on auditing are there? There are 37 standards on auditing, out of which 34 are applicable for your exams. In total, actually, there are 44. That's what I'll come to the discussion. 44 engagement and quality control standards, out of which 37 are standards, out of which 34 are applicable for your exams. And more or less 25, 25, 25, 25. That's the division of these 4 parts in your exams. Like in your exams, what is the weightage of these 4 parts? More or less 25, 30 each. Yes, basic concepts in auditing, wherein we'll be discussing basics plus CIS, internal controls and all. Then part 2, which is again divided under vouching verification, government audit, special audit. The most scoring part, part 2, vouching verification. But only thing, you need to develop a knack. You need to have a lot of practice regarding how these vouching verification answers are to be written. So that's vouching verification, government company audit and special audit. Third, company audit. That is, here we are going to go to law. Sections of Companies Act related to audit. Yes, so that is company audit. And the last one, the standards on auditing. Generally at Ipcc, students take a risk. I'm telling straight away. Students take a risk where they put standards into option or they do it on, ऐसे ऊपर से करते हैं. Okay, and those who leave it in option or जो ऊपर से करते हैं, they simply bear a cost of 6 months. They don't do it for the first attempt, then after the first attempt, they'll come and tell, okay, no, last time I'd left standards in option, but this time I've decided I will not do that. ये decide करने को तुम्हें 6 महीने लगे. You understand, your decision, it has cost, the cost of your decision has been 6 months. It's very, very risky in a CA course to leave anything in option. Anyways, the course is only risky. So why are you increasing the risk further by, and rather it's draining of energy to decide what is to be put in option, what is not to be studied, what I should do, first I'll study. No, there is enough time. There is enough time for you to complete all this entire syllabus. And till the time you don't study, no, it keeps on looking difficult. Once you study and you understand, you start enjoying the subject. You don't study only, you don't open the book only, and without that only you say 34 है यार, कैसे करेंगे? नहीं, ये तो option में ही छोड़ना पड़ेगा. Before only, you've not even seen, you've not even understood anything, but you start making your own stories out of it. So don't do that. Okay, so that's the 4 parts. Yes, basics, vouching verification, company audit, and the essays, that is standards on auditing. Okay, right. Initially, when the institute started issuing these standards, okay, they were called as SAP, that is Standards on Auditing Practices. 80s, okay, when institute issued standards, they were called as SAP, that is Standards on Auditing Practices. Then after that, they were renamed to be called as AAS, that is Auditing and Assurance Standards. I'm just telling you the evolution of these standards. So initially when they were introduced, they were called as SAP, Standards on Auditing Practice. Then after that, Auditing and Assurance Standard. Right? Then after that, they were renamed as Engagement and Quality Control Standards. EQCS, Engagement and Quality Control. Yes, Engagement and Quality Control. Now, as a chartered accountant, yes, engagement and quality control. As a chartered accountant, you can perform 4 types of engagement. 1, you can do an audit. Yes, as a chartered accountant, you can perform 4 types of engagement. 1, you can do an audit. Second, you can do a review. Yes, third, you can give an assurance. And fourth, you can do some related services. Right? What is the main title? Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Now I'm telling you there are 4 types of engagement. Audit, review, assurance, related services. When you are appointed to do an audit, you need to follow the SAs. When you are appointed to do a review, you need to follow the SRE, Standard on Review Engagement. When you are appointed for an assurance, SAE, Standard on Assurance Engagement. And when you're appointed for related services, SRS, Standard on Related Services. And whatever be the type of engagement which you are performing, whether you're doing an audit, review, assurance, or related services, you have to maintain quality in the services provided. That is SQC, Standard on Quality Control. So look at the main heading, engagement and quality control. तो क्वालिटी कंट्रोल का SQC और एंगेजमेंट के 4, ऑडिट, रिव्यू, अश्योरेंस, रिलेटेड सर्विसेज. Out of which there are 37 standards on auditing, 2 standards on review engagement, 2 on assurance, 2 on related services, and 1 SQC. So actually these are the 44 engagement and quality control standards issued. Out of which 37 are standards, out of which 34 standards are applicable for your exams. So anyways, SRE, SAE, SRS, SQC is not under our discussion right now, but you should be knowing about the same. Yes, you understand. So it's, do you call it standards on auditing? Standards on auditing is just one type of the EQCS. Engagement and quality control standards. Engagements could be of 4 types: audit, review, assurance, related services. And whatever be the type of service, quality to has to be maintained. Quality in service has to be maintained by the CA firm. So that is SQC, one standard over there. And then SA, SRE, SAE, and SRS. Anyways, SRE, SAE, SRS not under our discussion right now, SQC. So out of the 37 standards, 34 standards would come in our discussion. Right. So, you remember the 4 parts now of your syllabus? 1, the basics. Then vouching verification. 3rd, Companies Act, sections related to audit. And 1, the 34 standards on auditing. Okay. Now, what we'll be doing? We'll start with the basics, and along with the basics, whatever are the related standards on auditing, we'll do it with the basics only. Because what happens when you start doing the 34 standards all together, it looks very voluminous. And then you're not even able to link the same. So what we do, along with the basics only, we cover around 13, 15 standards. And then remaining standards, we do it at the end. Okay, so now starting with the basics. In the basics, we've already rather start with the first one, financial statements. Yes, what is financial statements? Balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, and notes. Notes ka new name, summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. Yes, that is notes. Cash flow statement, the entity will prepare whenever it is applicable to them, whenever AS3, whenever cash flow statement is required under law. Yes, and notes, that is related to balance sheet and profit and loss. Yes, this audit discussion, we have it in the context, keeping in mind mainly the statutory auditor of the company. Who is the statutory auditor? The auditor who's been appointed under law. What is the responsibility given to the auditor under law? That you have to express an opinion on financial statements. What is financial statements? Balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, notes. But first thing on earth, why does management prepare financial statements? अगर वो बनाते ही नहीं तो ऑडिटर के पास ऑडिट के लिए आते ही नहीं. तो कुछ तो कारण होगा. There might be some reason why management is preparing financial statements. To know the profitability of the company, great. Financial position, so okay. Position will be reflected by balance sheet and profitability will be reflected by statement of profit and loss. Okay. Decision making. okay, owners and management are different. So to bridge the gap between the two, like you have invested your money in the company, but the actual decision making at the company is being taken by the management. So to bridge the gap between the two, so to ensure the safety of your money, okay, you can, or the financial statements are prepared to know the profitability, financial position, decision making purpose, okay. See, you are appointed as an auditor to express an opinion on financial statements. But first thing, we are trying to understand why is management preparing financial statements? Why are they preparing? Yes, why is management preparing financial statements? Borrowings. Okay, the moment you go to any bank, okay, the client goes to the bank for a loan. Bank, first thing it will ask for is what? Get your financial statements. Why financial statements? To come to know the credit worthiness of the borrower. They'll come to know their profitability, asset liability, existing loans taken and so. Okay. Why? What else? Why is management preparing financial statements? Who prepares financial statements? Management, client. My question to you, why? To pay taxes, because taxes would also be, the tax liability would be based on profits, and profits will be reflected from financial statements. Okay. MIS for data analysis purpose. Okay. Invest. Okay, so any person who wants to invest in the company, he will make his investment decision based on the financial statements. Okay. Yes, you've forgotten the employees. The employees say they want to demand a bonus, or they say we want an increment. On what basis are they going to demand a bonus or an increment? On the basis of financial statements. They're going to tell management, इतना profit हो रहा है company का, हमें तो कोई share ही नहीं मिल रहा है. We want a bonus, we want increment. Okay, so it's also going to help the management, to the employees. Okay, so rather I am discussing with you the first 8-mark question, nature and purpose of financial statements. Like at IPC, they ask lot of 8-mark questions. Yes, so nature and purpose of financial statements, which I can divide it under 2 parts. People inside the organization and people outside the organization. Inside the organization, 3. Owners, management and employees. Financial statements are beneficial to the owners, the shareholders. As you said, there is a gap between the management and the shareholders of the company. So to ensure the safety of their money, to ensure the return on investment, ROI, which you study in FM, yes, return on investment, they can analyze it on the basis of financial statements. Managements for decision-making purpose. Okay, next year, what line of activity, sales price to be increased, purchase production to be increased or what. So it is beneficial to management. Then employees, I told you on the basis of financial statements, they can demand for bonus or increment. So these are inside the organization. Then other than that, it is also beneficial to the lenders. That is, as you said, the borrowers, to assess the credit worthiness. Then it is also beneficial to the customers. Can anyone tell me, how would financial statements be beneficial to the customers of the company? Credit customers, not suppliers. Suppliers will come next. To know the sales, okay. More, give me more concrete answer. Okay. You understand my question, right? Okay, say there is a customer, say the customer is Infosys, and there is a furniture company. Okay, now Infosys is setting up, say, a new premises in Hyderabad. Now for that premises in Hyderabad, it requires, say, 1 lakh chairs. Okay, so Infosys is a customer and there is a furniture company. Now, Infosys is considering, okay, should we give this 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh chairs ka order to this particular furniture company? Infosys is considering. Infosys is a customer. What is the customer checking? That whether I should give the order of 1 lakh chair to this particular furniture company. So now it will have a look at its financial statements regarding how much is work in progress, how much is closing stock, how much is debts, how much is bad debts. Do they have the manpower, time and resources to handle such a huge assignment? You understand? So that is how it will be beneficial to the customers. That is, they will decide, whether we should deal with this company or whether we should not, on the basis of their financial statements. Then it will also be beneficial to the suppliers. Suppliers' creditworthiness, whether to give the goods on credit, just like the lenders. Then it will also be beneficial to the government. Government for two things. One for taxes and second for grants and subsidies. Yes, one for taxes and second for grants and subsidies. And on addition to this, it will also, owners, shareholders we've already done, owners, right? It will also be beneficial to the research analyst and prospective investors. Research analyst and prospective investor. That means, say you are an investor. Say you have 10,000 idle funds with you. So now you are a prospective investor. You go to your broker, that is the research analyst, and you ask him, okay, these are 10,000 rupees with me, I want to invest. Where should I invest? So now he is going to give you advice on the basis of the financial statements of the company. Yes, on the basis of financial performance, growth, stability, profitability of the company. So, research analyst and prospective investors. Research analyst, what is he going to do? He is going to analyze the performance of the company on the financial statements. And on that basis, he is going to help the prospective investor making his investment decisions. So, these are the nature and purpose of financial statements. Yes, owners, management, employees, lenders, customers, suppliers, government, and research analysts, prospective investors. Yes, research analysts, that's investors and prospective investors. Nature and purpose of financial statements. Right? You see an 8-mark question in your exams. Now, again, when you study on your own, what you will see? Okay, these are the headings. Owners, management, employees, lenders, customers, suppliers, government, research analysts, prospective investors. No. Headings don't give any marks. Right? And more so dangerous if you form some mnemonics and keep. Say you make OME, owners, management, employees. Now in the exams you remember OME, but you forget O for what and E for what. And then you make creativity you show over there. So that annoys the examiner further. You understand? It's very risky. When you make some mnemonics and you write over there the headings and you think, and then the students will say, देखो ना इतना तो सब heading बराबर है, एक ही mark दिया, एक ही देंगे, उससे ज़्यादा मिलेगा ही नहीं. Your expectation is only wrong. You're not going to get beyond one. So when I see these headings, first point I have to understand. Second point, I need to know the headings. Now third point, against each heading, do I have a point to write? That is what I call this as you need to spend time with each question. Okay, एक बार ही करो अच्छी से, मतलब जब first time करते हो, ऐसा घाई नहीं है कि 10-5 मिनट में हो जाना चाहिए. First time only when I study, I'll read it from the books, I'll understand, I'll remember, then I'll again see, okay, if it comes in the exams, I'll write. Owners, it is beneficial to the owners to know the return on investment as there is a gap between management, the true owners and the runners of the company. Okay, then for management, for decision-making purposes, they can take future investment decisions. Yes, the production sales, production plans of the future of the company can be determined based on the financial statements. Yes, employees, yes, legitimate share in the earnings of the organization, bonus increment. Then lenders, to assess the credit worthiness of the borrower. Yes, how they have been in the payment of the past loans which have been taken by them. Then customers, yes, the credit standing. Yes, whether they will be able to fulfill such long, big orders. Yes, suppliers to assess the credit worthiness again. Yes, recoverability of their dues, whether the company will pay the money on due date. Then government to levy taxes on profits. Yes, and also to grant levies and subsidies based on their performance. Right, then research analyst prospective investors for analyzing the future profitability and growth prospects of the company and accordingly to make a decision whether to invest in the company or not. This is every time you need to say when you do this answer. When you study on your own also, no? You read what is there in the books, you make the headings, you understand, and then put it aside and say the entire answer on your own. Sometimes if need be, you also write down 2-page answer and then you go ahead. Half-hearted effort will not do the work. You understand? So, nature and purpose of financial statements. So, Radha, I have covered 2 small questions over here. One, what do you mean by financial statements? And second, what is the nature and purpose of financial statements? Okay. With that, we come to the definition of auditing. Yes, with that, we come to the definition of auditing. Yes, for the first 2 days, you won't be having the notes. Like once you take the admissions, then we can accordingly give the numbers, of notes which are required. So don't worry, even though right now you are without the notes. Once you get the notes, I will just have a brief discussion again with you of whatever we've studied right now. Right. With that, we come to the definition of auditing. Before we go to the definition of audit, let's understand ये audit word आया कहाँ से? है ना? From where did this word audit come? Yes, so the word audit, है ना? Audit. All you do is tick. Yes, all you do is tick. One student asked me, मैडम उल्टा टिक क्यों करते हैं? आपने देखा होगा ना कि सीए ऐसे उल्टा टिक करता है क्योंकि फिर वो नंबर पे नहीं आता है. यू अंडरस्टैंड? अगर ऐसा टिक कर दिया तो वो नंबर पे आता है, फिर वो नंबर चेंज वगैरह ऐसे हो सकता है. दैट्स द रीजन इट इज डन अबव. ओके, सो द वर्ड ऑडिट हैज बीन डिराइव्ड. द वर्ड ऑडिट हैज बीन डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम द लैटिन वर्ड ऑडेर, which means to hear. And that is why when you talk about an audio CD, you can only hear. So there is some similarity, between audio audit. Okay, which means to hear. Okay, so originally, when in the government departments, okay, ekdam ancient past times, the concept of audit started in the government departments. When in these government departments, the accounting of the public money used to be done. Okay, and then, say these are all the people working in the government department. They have done the accounting for public money. Now an independent third person would come and he would only hear all what accounting of public money has been done. And then by hearing, by listening, he used to say that whatever accounting has been done, is it proper or is it not proper? This is how audit started. कि गवर्नमेंट पब्लिक मनी का अकाउंटिंग होता था, फिर एक इंडिपेंडेंट थर्ड पर्सन आके ही यूज्ड टू लिसन एंड यूज्ड टू बाय लिसनिंग ओनली ही यूज्ड टू से कि वेदर अकाउंटिंग इज प्रॉपर और नॉट प्रॉपर. तो अभी भी फंडामेंटल यानी कि बेसिक्स तो वही है, बट ऑब्वियसली आज भी सुन के तो होगा नहीं. आप इन्फोसिस में जाके बोल नहीं सकते हो कि हाँ सुनाओ पूरे साल में क्या अकाउंटिंग किया. Obviously that's not possible, but then the concept is still the same. कि somebody has done the accounting, some independent third person will come, he will check the accounting and he will express an opinion. You understand? The concept is still the same. कि maker, checker should be different. Those who have prepared the financial statements and those who are going to check, audit the financial statement should be different. Okay, so the definition of audit says that audit is an, yes, audit is an independent examination. So what type of an examination? independent examination. Rather, the auditor at the end of the audit, he issues an audit report. You know what is the title of that audit report? At the end of the audit, auditor is supposed to issue an audit report. What is the title of that audit report? Independent auditor's report. Earlier it was only auditor's report. Now they've revised it to making the title of the audit report only independent auditor's report. So that means independence is a must. So what is audit? Independent examination of financial information. Audit is independent examination of financial information of any entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. And when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Audit is an independent examination of financial information of any entity, whether profit-oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. When such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. So, starts with independent examination of financial information of any entity to express an opinion. So rather, these are the 4 terms which we have to discuss now. What is independence of auditor? Financial information we've already discussed. Yes, financial information could also be called as financial statements. Because from the financial information, the financial statements are prepared. From the financial information, the financial statements are prepared. And this financial information is generated from the books of accounts. So, books of account, from where you get the financial information, financial statements, balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow notes. So, independent examination, checking, verification of financial information of any entity. It could be for profit or Section 25 company, not for profit companies. So, profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size. It could be a company having a turnover of 20 lakh, 2 crore, 8 crore, 1000 crore or 1 lakh crore. Irrespective of its size and irrespective of its legal form. It could be a listed company. It could be a public company. It could be a private company. It could be a association of person, partnership, cooperative society, sole proprietor, HUF, irrespective of its legal form. Profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. And why is such an examination being done? To express an opinion. Why is such an examination being done? To express an opinion. Right. Now, say there is a company, Geo Limited. Right? This Geo Limited, it has prepared its financial statements. Okay? Say balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow notes. Geo Limited is a company and it has prepared its financial statements, balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow notes. And now, with these financial statements, Geo Limited management went to the bank and they are telling bank, please give us a loan. Now, actually the financial position of the company is that they've made a 20 crore loss. But Jio Limited management knows, okay, if we show a 20 crore loss, nobody is going to give us a loan. They know with these financial statements, if we go to the bank is not going to give us a loan. So what they did, they prepared financial statements giving a untrue financial position. That is, they showed bogus sales, they showed less purchases, they did overvaluation of assets, they did undervaluation of liabilities, something which you might be knowing a term called as window dressing. And by doing this window dressing, showing a better financial position than what actually is. What is their actual financial position? 20 crore loss. What financial position are they showing? 120 crore profit. Untrue financial position. And with these untrue financial statements, Jio Limited management goes to bank. Management, these are financial statements, 120 crore profit, please give us a loan. Bank says, who's prepared these financial statements? They said, we only prepared, we know how to prepare. Bale, who checked them? Nobody checked. We are management, we are only supposed to prepare. So we've prepared and now we've got it to you. See, we have 120 crore profit. You give us loan of 8 crore. The bank says that Jio Limited, we cannot give you a loan against these financial statements unless and until you get them audited. You have to get them audited. So management asks, okay, you want them to be audited. So again, they go back to their company. Okay, they again come back to the company. And now when their company, okay, there is an employee working. This employee is a chartered accountant. He's working in Jio Limited. He's a chartered accountant. Okay, so now management tells that employee, ये financial statements बैंक में लेके गए थे, बैंक ने बोला कि इसको audit करके लाओ, इसलिए हम आपके पास आए हैं. तो एम्प्लॉई जैसे ही ऑडिट करने लगता है वो बोलता है नहीं इसमें तो प्रॉब्लम है, ये सब बोगस प्रॉफिट दिखा रहे हो आप, 20 करोड़ का लॉस है कंपनी का. मैनेजमेंट उसे बोलती है यू हैव टू गिव अस अ क्लीन रिपोर्ट, नहीं तो तुम्हें नौकरी से निकाल देंगे. तो एम्प्लॉय बोलता है नहीं भले तुम मुझे नौकरी से निकाल दो, आई कांट गिव यू. ही मे से सो और ही मे कम अंडर द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑल्सो, कांट से. देन एम्प्लॉय से मे बी ही सेज नो. देन ही गोज टू रिलेटिव से, कोई नेफ्यू नीस किसी ने सीए किया है तो गोज टू रिलेटिव एंड टेल्स रिलेटिव ये फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट चेक करके दो. अगेन रिलेटिव वुड से सेम थिंग कि ये इसमें तो फ्रॉड है, ये 120 करोड़ ट्रू प्रॉफिट नहीं है, 20 करोड़ का लॉस है. बट देन अगेन ही विल से इफ यू don't give us a true report, I will take away all the shares which you have of the company. I'll not give even a single share with you. So what happens over here? Independence is not there. So that is why it says independent examination of financial information. So that is why the bankers tell Jio Limited, okay, get them audited, but get them audited from a independent person. So that is why in the Companies Act, when later on we'll be studying, Companies Act ने एक disqualification का list दिया है. वो disqualification में list में है कि employee you cannot do the audit, relative you cannot do the audit, that is given in Chartered Accountants Act. कि relative you also cannot do the audit. You understand? Relative you cannot do the audit. If you have to pay to the company 1,000 rupees or more than 1,000 rupees, again you cannot do the audit. So why are all these steps being put in company law? In order to ensure the independence of the auditor. So independent examination of financial information. So you understand what is the need for audit. Otherwise, with these untrue financial statements, the management will go anywhere and they'll say that give us a loan. Yes, or they'll say we have very good credit worthiness, or they'll tell the government we have no taxes to be paid, give us grant, give us subsidies. So what happens, though these financial statements are prepared, they are not credible. They are not reliable financial statements. Yes, they are not reliable financial statements. Just imagine if you are given your exam papers to be checked. What you will do? At least give 80 out of 100. Final ka bhi provision karke rakh do. You understand, no? Because maker checker has to be different. So that is why this need of getting the financial statements being audited from an independent third person. Getting these financial statements audited from an independent third person. So, independent examination of financial information of any entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. So far we've discussed only two terms: financial information and entity. Now we'll come to these two terms. First, independent examination. That means as an auditor, you should be independent of the entity. So now we are going to discuss a 5-mark short note on independence of auditor. Yes, independence of auditor. Yes, we celebrate 15th August, saying what? Independence Day. Okay, that day India became independent. Okay, no Britishers to tell us, that whether we should levy tax on salt or whether we should not do the same. Yes, what should be the rules and constitution of our country? We could decide on our own. No Britishers to tell us. So that is why we started saying that India became an independent country. Similarly, auditor says, management, you are not supposed to tell us whether these financial statements are right or whether they are wrong, whether there is any error, whether there is any fraud. You don't tell us anything. Let us independently check it and independently form an opinion. Yes, so the definition of independence says, independence implies, it means that judgment of a person is not subordinate. Subordinate मतलब किसी के कहे अनुसार नहीं है. Is not subordinate to the wishes or directions of another person. Wishes or direction of another person or for his own self-interest. What does this mean? Independence implies that judgment of a person is not subordinate to the wishes or directions of another person. So that management is telling auditor, if we show a loss of 20 crore, nobody is going to give us loan. So you please, it is our wish, it is our order, it is our direction that you don't show the loss and you show a profit of 120 crore. If you subordinate, then you are not independent. So you should not subordinate your decision making to the wishes or directions of another person who might have engaged you or for your own self-interest. What happens, you think? They are telling me not to show the loss, they are telling me to show the profit. And now if I don't listen to them, next year my audit will go, khali fukat mera 20 lakh ka nuksan ho jayega. Self-interest. You understand? You start thinking, if I don't agree to what they are saying, then the audit will go. So let me give true and fair. Let me say if no fraud, no error, 120 crore profit. Then where are you independent? Are you independent in that case? Not at all. So it says independence implies that the judgment of a person, judgment, decision making. What is judgment? Decision making. Of a person is not subordinate, यानी कि किसी के कहे अनुसार नहीं होना चाहिए. Because somebody said or because I thought इसी में मेरा फायदा है. No. Should not subordinate his wishes or directions. Yes, his subordinate his decision making to the wishes or directions of another person or who might have engaged him or for his own self-interest. तो ना ही खुद के फायदे के लिए या तो किसी और के फायदे के लिए. You should not subordinate your decision making. Yes, that is independence. Yes, in the exams, when a short note on independence of auditor is asked, there has to be no other first line other than this line. You're going to not write any other first line other than this line. Independence implies that judgment of a person is not subordinate to the wishes or directions of another person who might have engaged him or for his own self-interest. कि किसी के कहे अनुसार उनके फायदे के लिए या अपने फायदे के लिए, no subordinating your decisions. Yes, that is independence. Then it further says that इतना वैल्यू क्यों है ऑडिटर को, इतना इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों दिया जाता है ऑडिट में, है ना, इतना ऑडिट को इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों दिया जाता है, इतना ऑडिटर को इतना रिस्पेक्ट, इतना मतलब हाई रिगार्ड क्यों दिया जाता है सीए के प्रोफेशन को या ऑडिट को. It says because of independence. है ना, there is a sentence which says independence is the keystone आधार स्तंभ, the keystone, the fundamental on which the respect and dignity of the profession is based. कि अगर independence ना होता ऑडिटर का तो ऑडिटर का रिस्पेक्ट और डिग्निटी भी नहीं रहेगा. The respect and dignity of the auditor is coming only because of that independence. कि शेयर होल्डर्स को ऐसे क्या बोलते हैं, आंख बंद करके भरोसा है कि ऑडिटर बोल रहा है बराबर है तो बराबर होगा. बैंक बोलती है ऑडिटर बोल रहा है 120 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट है तो हम रेडी है मानने को कि 120 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट है. ऑडिटर बोल रहा है लॉस है तो लॉस है. तो कितना भरोसा है ना ऑडिटर पे, और किस बेसिस पे ये भरोसा आ रहा है, इंडिपेंडेंस, कि ही हैज बीन इंडिपेंडेंट. इसी ने किसी के कहे अनुसार या खुद के फायदे के लिए सबऑर्डिनेट नहीं किया होगा डिसीजन मेकिंग. सो अंडरस्टैंड द सेकंड सेंटेंस. इट इज द keystone upon which the respect and dignity of the profession is maintained. Dignity, the high regard. Yes, the high regard for the profession is based. Again, right. So just as an example, when I go to company law, I'll discuss again. Yes, a person, okay, or his partner and his relative, you know, these people should not be associated with Geo Limited. We've taken Geo Limited as an example. So, you know, if he is an employee, we said no, employee तुम audit नहीं करना, relative है तो audit नहीं करना, partner है तो audit नहीं करना. We said no, these person they should be independent. Companies Act बोलती है इन लोगों के पास अगर एक भी equity share रहा तो cannot do the audit. Single equity share with voting rights disqualified from being appointed as an auditor. Yes, be very attentive. You have to keep on marking my words, whatever I am saying in the class. Single equity share and you are disqualified from being appointed as an auditor of the company. So that means if they are not disqualified, that means auditor is independence. Now answer my question carefully. If none of the disqualifications of Companies Act are attracted, there is a list of disqualifications in company law, like employee, indebtedness, security. Okay, answer my question carefully. If none of the disqualifications of Companies Act is attracted, that means auditor is independent. You have to answer my questions. If none of the disqualifications of the Companies Act is attracted, that means auditor is independent. You understand? You interpreted my question? If none of the disqualifications of the Companies Act is attracted, that means auditor is independent. हाँ, सीलिंग वगैरह सब everything okay. Yes? Okay. That is only independence in appearance. है ना, at home, when you're studying, and when you're looking into the books for long hours. Okay? Everyone at home keeps on saying, temple-like atmosphere at home. Okay, your parents take so much care, okay, no, don't make noise over here, studying, okay, exams coming, CA doing, okay. So, such religious atmosphere at home, okay, such religious atmosphere. But now, ऐसा कब से दिख तो रहा है, your mother while coming, going, she's checking, are you studying? So कब से मम्मी को ऐसा दिख तो रहा है, in appearance, कि you're studying, you're studying, you're studying. But you only know, no, in your mind, what are you doing? तो बस अभी पर्सन के पास, रिलेटिव के पास, पार्टनर के पास शेयर नहीं है, तो लीगली अगर देखने जाए तो ऑडिटर इंडिपेंडेंट है. पर कंपनीज एक्ट ने बोला है कि वो पर्सन के पास, उसके पार्टनर के पास, उसके रिलेटिव के पास शेयर नहीं होना चाहिए. कंपनीज एक्ट में ऐसा कहाँ बोला है कि फ्रेंड के पास शेयर नहीं होना चाहिए? डायरेक्टर कम्स इन एम्प्लॉय, पार्टनर एंड ऑल. पर कंपनीज एक्ट ने ऐसा तो कहीं नहीं कहा कि फ्रेंड के पास शेयर नहीं होना चाहिए. ओके, तो टुडे इज 10th of September. टुमारो जियो लिमिटेड का रिजल्ट इज गोइंग टू कम एंड यू आर दी ऑडिटर ना, कि बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट आने वाला है कल. और जैसे ही स्टॉक मार्केट में रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर हो जाएगा, कंपनी का शेयर प्राइस एकदम जूम ऊपर जाने वाला है. सो व्हाट यू डू, यू कॉल अप योर फ्रेंड, इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग है ना. यू कॉल अप योर फ्रेंड एंड यू टेल योर फ्रेंड के 2000 शेयर्स खरीद, 50-50 करेंगे. So in that case, what happens? Is there independence of mind? Appearance, very much yes. But independence of mind, missing. Are you studying? Does it look to everyone that you're studying? Yes. But you should know for yourself, no, what are you doing? So similarly over here also they've said that auditor, हमको ऐसे दुनिया को फंसाने वाला independence नहीं चाहिए. We want both independence, independence of appearance and also independence of mind. And independence of mind can only be there with a person of integrity. Independence of mind can only be there with a person of integrity. Because वो अंदाजा नहीं लग सकता. Finally, it will come down to your ethics and moral values. You understand? So, third sentence. What is it? Independence not only in appearance but also independence of mind. 3 sentences किए अभी तक. Independence implies that judgment of a person is not subordinate to the wishes or directions of another person who might have engaged in, yes, or for his own self-interest. It is the keystone upon which the respect and dignity of the profession is based. Yes, independence not only in appearance but also independence of mind. And then there are a lot of measures which have been taken by the Companies Act to ensure the independence of the auditor. And like we said, single equity share, no indebtedness up to 1,000 allowed, beyond that disqualification, employee not allowed, relative not allowed. So already Company Law and Chartered Accountants Act put together, yes, have taken a lot of steps to ensure independence of auditor. But that will ensure only independence of appearance. Independence of mind will only come from integrity. Yes, so independence of auditor. So first you will write down these 3 sentences in the answer and then the measures taken in company law to ensure the independence of auditor. Measures taken in Companies Act as well as in the Chartered Accountants Act to ensure the independence of the auditor. When we do the Companies Act, you will be able to know this. Right, so that's a short note on independence of auditor. So what you've been saying, technical terms should be coming in your answer. So these are the words which are actually required in the answers. Yes, and knowing these terms is only half the trouble or half the problem solved. You know the terms, but you should also know the grammar and the sentence formation for the same and the proper presentation from the same. Half preparation not done. Okay, complete preparation. So that is regarding independence of auditor. So we are discussing the definition of audit. Audit is an independent examination of financial information of any entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Okay, so now we come to express an opinion. Yes, now we come to express an opinion. That is, we come to the objectives of the auditor. Yes, that is, now we come to the objective of auditor. Right. Yes, you know what is fraud and error? Fraud, intentional. Error, unintentional. Error done intentionally would become a fraud. Okay. Now, is detection of frauds and errors the primary objective of audit? No. Detection of frauds and errors. Is it the primary main objective of the auditor? फ्रॉड ढूंढना ऑडिटर का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है? फिर उसके बाद ऑडिटर की. Detection of frauds and errors, is it the objective of audit? Is it the main objective कि हम audit क्यों करते हैं? fraud error ढूंढने के लिए. What is the primary objective of audit? To express an opinion. Primary objective is what? To express an opinion. Earlier, once upon a time, okay, earlier, the objective of audit was to express an opinion on true and correct, wherein the focus was on the arithmetical accuracy of the books of account. Arithmetical accuracy, यानी कि 2 + 3, 8 + 1, 6 + 3, arithmetical accuracy of the books of account. That was the focus. के बस mathematical calculation check करो, बराबर है तो true and correct. This was there earlier, once upon, long time ago. But right now, at present, yes, right now, the objective of audit at present is what? To express an opinion on true and fair, wherein you are expressing an opinion on the reliability or integrity of financial reporting. Can anyone tell me what is financial reporting? Here it was arithmetical accuracy of books of account. Now it is integrity of financial reporting. What is financial reporting? Accounts. CA final group 1 accounts is now called financial reporting. What is financial reporting? Accounting. So integrity of accounting means, for that we will also check compliance with accounting standards in Schedule 3. So earlier the focus was only on mathematical accuracy of books of accounts. So there we didn't check whether rate of depreciation is correct, AS2 properly followed, AS9 properly followed, nothing, only 2 + 3, 8 + 3. Mathematical accuracy. But now the objective of audit has undergone a change from true and correct to true and fair. And true and fair is a much broader term. Are we going to check mathematical accuracy when you express an opinion on true and fair? Yes. Mathematical accuracy is now going to be one part of the checking. पहले जब true and correct check करते थे तो सिर्फ mathematical accuracy देख के true and correct opinion express करके audit close हो जाता था. अभी true and fair के time mathematical accuracy is just one part of the checking. Then in addition to that, we check accounting policies, consistent application of accounting policies, Schedule 3 followed, disclosures properly given, accounting standards complied, and based on this, then we say true and fair. You understand the C change from true and correct to true and fair? True and correct, it was only mathematical accuracy. Now true and fair, mathematical accuracy, accounting policies, accounting standards, Schedule 3, all this compliance would also be checked. So rather now the focus has shifted from arithmetical accuracy to integrity of financial reporting or reliability of financial reporting. So what is the primary objective of the audit? To express an opinion on true and fair view of the financial statements. Yes, but the incidental, yes, how have they defined it as? The incidental and secondary objective of audit is detection of frauds and errors. Incidental and secondary objective of audit is detection of frauds and errors. So it is incidental and secondary but not insignificant. वो सेकेंड है इसलिए ऐसे मत समझो कि इट इज इनसिग्निफिकेंट, इट इज सिग्निफिकेंट बट इट इज सेकेंडरी, इसलिए सेकेंड आता है लाइन में. So can auditor be responsible for detection of frauds and error? First answer will be no, because primary objective is true and fair. An incidental and secondary objective is detection of frauds and errors for the very obvious reason. Can the financial statements be considered to be true and fair? I want good answers, okay, to the questions which I ask. You have to keep on tracking the words which I say. Can the financial statements be considered to be true and fair if there are substantial number of frauds and errors in those financial statements? No. Can the financial statements be considered to be true and fair if there are substantial number of frauds and errors in those financial statements? I repeat one last time. Can the financial statements be considered to be true and fair if there are substantial number of errors and frauds in those financial statements? No. How can they be true and fair if there are so many frauds and errors? So obviously, not directly said, but indirectly said. कि अगर आपको ट्रू एंड फेयर ओपिनियन देना है तो सब्सटैंशियल फ्रॉड्स एंड एरर्स ढूंढना ही पड़ेगा, उसके बिना वो ट्रू एंड फेयर नहीं हो सकता. तो मैनेजमेंट कभी भी नहीं बताएगा. ये मैनेजमेंट आपको ऐसे बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, कैश फ्लो नोट्स दे देगा ऑडिट करने के लिए. उसके पीछे ऐसे एक लिस्ट थोड़ी देगा कि ये देखो ये फ्रॉड एरर हुआ है कंपनी में ड्यूरिंग द. इट्स अ गेम ऑफ हाइड एंड सीक, लिपा चिप्पी का खेल है. मैनेजमेंट इज गोइंग टू से ऑडिटर तुम टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो ऑडिट करके, जल्दी से ट्रू एंड फेयर व्यू ओपिनियन देके चले जाओ. देयर इज नो एरर, देयर इज नो फ्रॉड. ऑडिटर सेज यू वेट, वी हैव 37 स्टैंडर्ड्स टू बी फॉलोड. हमें हमारा ऑडिट स्टैंडर्ड्स के हिसाब से करने दो. लेट अस कंक्लूड फॉर आवर ओन इंडिपेंडेंट ओपिनियन वेदर देयर इज फ्रॉड एंड एरर और नॉट. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू रिलाई ऑन व्हाट मैनेजमेंट सेज. Independence फिर कहाँ गया if you're going to rely on what management is saying? Even though if management says there is a fraud, or even though if they say there is no fraud, you don't listen to what they are saying. You form your independent opinion. And there is no need for you to listen to management because you have direct access to books of account. That is why Companies Act has given an unrestricted access to books of account, wherein there is no need for auditor to rely on what management is saying. They can check for themselves what entries have been passed in the books of account. So, can the financial statements be considered to be true and fair if there are substantial frauds and errors? No. For the financial statements to be true and fair, they should be free from frauds and errors. So that is why detection of frauds and errors is the incidental and secondary, but by no means an insignificant audit objective. What type of an objective? Incidental and secondary, but by no means an insignificant audit objective. Incidental and secondary, but by no means an insignificant audit objective. Aage. Right? You understand so far? Objective, primary objective, express an opinion. Earlier it was true and correct. You've written this. True and correct. Arithmetic, where the focus was only on the mathematical accuracy of the books of account. Now the focus has been shifted to integrity of financial reporting. That's accounting. Right. Incidental and secondary objective, detection of frauds and errors. Okay. Right. Now, there is a term called as propriety. We'll discuss that term right now. Right. Say Jio Limited had 200 crore rupees with it during the year. Jio Limited company say raise kiya, IPO say, debt say, jaise bhi, they had 200 crore rupees with them. Now out of this 200 crore rupees, they had a lot of options. One, they could have purchased a plant and machinery. One, they could have put this money in research and development. Another, they could have repaid the bank loan. Another, they could have declared dividend to the shareholders. Another, they could have given bonus to employees. Or they could have invested that money in some subsidiary or so. These were the options which were there. One set of funds, and these were the options. Out of this, say management of Jio Limited decided that out of this 200 crore, we will purchase a new plant and machinery. And when you went for the audit, you came to know that Jio Limited had 200 crore rupees, and out of that 200 crore, they have purchased a plant and machinery. As an auditor, what are you supposed to check? Existence, authorization first. Who authorized purchase of this plant and machinery? Ownership, whether the invoice is in the client's name, registered in client's name, the plant and machinery. Payment terms, then the installation charges have been added to the cost of asset. Depreciation has been charged from date put to use, rate of depreciation, proper disclosures. Yes, all this is what you will check. Yes, plant and machinery. And then if it is properly disclosed, then you will again give an opinion saying true and fair. It's not affecting your audit opinion. But on the other hand, can you write in your report, okay, management has taken a very bad decision by deciding to purchase a plant and machinery? It would have been 10 times better, had they repaid the bank loan out of it. As an auditor, can you make such a comment in your audit report? They made a wrong decision by purchasing plant and machinery. It would have been better had they repaid the loan. No. The auditor is not concerned with the propriety of business conduct. Propriety, onus, governance, control, decision making of business conduct. He is not concerned with the propriety of business conduct. Please remember, you are auditing the financial statements. You are not auditing the decisions of the management. Okay, you cannot say कि ये तुम्हारे डिसीजन के कारण अभी इतना लॉस होगा तुम्हारा, तुमने ये डिसीजन लेना चाहिए था. मैनेजमेंट का डिसीजन प्रूडेंट है, प्रूडेंट यानी कि समझदार है. Whether the decision of the management is prudent or imprudent, whether it is profitable or whether it is not a profitable decision, no concern of the auditor. Auditor का story बस यहीं पे खत्म. True and fair. Whatever decision has been taken, accounting बराबर है क्या? True and fair view है क्या? That's it. Yes, he is not concerned with the propriety of business conduct. But then later on, when we'll be going towards company law, in company law on exception basis, at some points they've told auditor to probe. Probe means to look into the propriety of business conduct. So where company law has specified that these points you look into the propriety, there we will look, otherwise we will not look. So by default, you auditor is not required to look into the propriety of business conduct. Is he required to look into the propriety? No. Auditor is not concerned with the propriety of business conduct. He is not concerned with the profitability or the unprofitability, with the prudence or the imprudence of the decisions taken by the management. We are not auditing the decisions of the management, we are auditing the financial statements prepared by the management. We need to check that whether these financial statements are correctly prepared, accounting is proper, yes, whether disclosures are properly given, consistent application, accounting standards followed. That is what you need to check. You're not required to go into the propriety of business conduct. Yes, with regard to detection of frauds and errors. Yes, detection of frauds and errors is the incidental and secondary objective, but by no means an insignificant audit objective. Yes, so that was also given in a celebrated case law, the Kingston Cotton Mills case, wherein the matter went in the courts of law asking that whether the auditor is responsible for detection of frauds and errors. Yes, the court said that auditor is a watchdog but not a bloodhound. Yes, auditor is a watchdog but not a bloodhound. What is this watchdog and bloodhound? Yes, auditor is a watchdog, but he is not a bloodhound. The Kingston Cotton Mills case. Just a moment. Yes? Only express an opinion. Watchdog, he is cautious. Yes, this is the... Yes, auditor is a watchdog, but not a bloodhound. So if fraud is so properly planned, it doesn't come to the attention of the auditor during the course of audit, prima facie, the auditor will not be responsible because detection of frauds and errors is the incidental and secondary objective of the audit. So what was the verdict of the case? That auditor is a watchdog but not a bloodhound. Yes, so this is a bloodhound. Yes, is the auditor a bloodhound? No, he is a... दोनों वही है, सिर्फ अलग प्रकार है. Yes, that's just what the verdict, the words which they used in the verdict. Okay, what does a bloodhound do? Whosoever comes, he is suspicious. Okay, he is suspicious. Like as an auditor, if you are suspicious, what will you do? Each entry which you will check, you will say there is a fraud, there is a fraud, there is a fraud. But as an auditor, yes, what you will do? You will do the checking. If you find anything sketchy or anything wrong over there, dicey, then in that case you will think of a fraud over there. Without reason you will not suspect. Okay, so that was the verdict of the Kingston Cotton Mills case, which says that auditor is a watchdog, but he is not a bloodhound. Means as an auditor you are supposed to be cautious but not suspicious. Because the moment you become suspicious, you start with an investigation.